world, my name is Nicholas Montez, and you're watching my YouTube channel, Nicholas Montez. Welcome back to another YouTube channel video, everybody. I'm so excited to have y'all back here together again. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about Disney remakes. Today we'll be doing my first Disney remakes tier list, because Cruella finally came out on free on Disney Plus, and I wanted to rank all of them tier list style. So with that said, let's get started ranking all 19 of these tier list styles.
Okay, so if you have seen my past tier list that I did a couple weeks ago with my mom, and I ranked the DCU, and she ranked the MCU, basically it's going to be the same format as this for future tier lists, and basically it's going to be A, best tier of the bunch, B tier, almost good, but, almost great, but not quite as good, C tier, just okay, good, D, not great and not bad. And then F is obviously the worst. So let's just kick off with The Jungle Book from 1994. And this is one that I like. It's definitely not great, but it is pretty good. It's definitely kind of forgettable. I like how it feels like this animal documentary thing. I kind of like how it feels like Tarzan a little bit. And so for me, I like it, but it's not going super high up on the list. It's just going to go right there in the middle. Next up, we have 101 Dalmatians, the remake. Now, if you watch my ranking of all the 101 Dalmatians films, you know that I'm not the biggest fan of this film. I do like it. It was low on the list, but that doesn't mean I don't like it. My score for it is on Letterboxd is 4 out of 5 stars. And that's because I gave it a B plus. And the reason for that is because it has the classic scenes it love from the original film, and it does something new with the heist element, and adding this version of video games and stuff, which is interesting to me. But overall, the entire movie itself just feels kind of forgettable, and when you kind of think about it, it just kind of feels a little bit unoriginal. So, but I still do like it, so I'm gonna put in this as well. And now we come into 102 Dalmatians, and this is one that I'm not the biggest fan of. This is easily one of the worst Disney remakes I've ever seen. Now, on the positives, the two main lead characters here I think are good. The parrot, thinking he's a dog, but then actually flies at the end, and that dogs can't fly, but parrots can. That's a little cool character arc that they built for him. But besides that, everything else is just bad. And as this is a G-rated film, the plotline is just so intense. Cruella goes crazy, she starts loving Dalmatians, and then she goes crazy again, and then in the end she gets covered in cake batter, and it's just kind of gross and all of that, and it was kind of hard for me to understand. So I do not recommend this movie. So you're going 102 Dalmatians, you're going in the F tier. And also, the movie's just kind of boring, so I can't believe I sat through that. Next up, we have Alice in Wonderland, the Tim Burton film. This movie's fine. I don't think it's aged very well. It's more of a sequel than a remake, but I'm kind of fine with that, because I think the story with the way they did it was kind of clever. Some of the special effects are pretty good. Johnny Depp plays a good Mad Hatter. The finale with Alice fighting a giant monster just never really stuck with me. But overall, I enjoyed it enough, but it's not great. Sure gonna go in deeper. Alright, next up we have The Sorcerer's Apprentice. Now, if you know me, this film is based off of one of the sequences in Fantasia, the one that stars Mickey Mouse himself. And that's probably the only scene I really liked in the film, as well as the animation style, of course. But this film, it basically takes Nicolas Cage, Jay Baruchel, and Alfred Molina and put it into this wizardry film with wizard action, really cool wizard visuals, and a great cast that has great chemistry, and it works pretty well. But the specific story with Alfred Molina's character and the wizard stuff never really made sense, and it felt a little bit too forced. The beginning sequence I mean, obviously, I like the relationship with the girl in the movie, with Jay Baruchel's girlfriend in the movie, but the specific story with the way it went just never really stuck with me. And I thought it was supposed to be like Jay Baruchel's character was supposed to be like this new wizard of the world, this new hero of the world. That's not like that at all. But you're still gonna go in C tier because I did actually enjoy it a good bit. It has mostly everything I liked about it. I mostly enjoyed it. So I enjoyed it a lot. And now we come to Maleficent. Now, if you know me, there's not a lot of people that are a big fan of this movie. I understand. I just love it. I love it. It's just a great movie. I think the way they told the story of Maleficent was just great. I love the way they did her character. Angelina Jolie was perfect as Maleficent. I thought the way they kind of tied her story into Sleeping Beauty was great. And now, the Morris plotline, never understood why they had it in the movie, but it makes sense in the second film since they're basically the main plotline of that movie. But overall, I'm gonna put this in the A tier. And that's really the only issue I have with that film. Next up, we have Cinderella. This is a movie that I enjoyed. Granted, the story is the same, but really what makes the film good is the visuals, the backstory on Cinderella, and the acting with Kate Blanchett and stuff. So, that all really pretty much wins me over, and it just turns... It's not trying to be one of the best Disney remakes of all time, but it's a pretty enjoyable stuff, and pretty good conflict, pretty good CGI, and overall good at what it's trying to do. So I'm gonna put it in B. I don't have any shame doing that. Now we come to the Jungle Book. Before we do, let's get a drink of water because I am talking for a little bit of while. Alright, so now we come to the Jungle Book 2016. And this remake is basically everybody's what everybody wants. It took the story of the Jungle Book and made it better, because if you think about the original film, the story for that movie kind of sucked. As it's about this boy that is trying to get to the Mana Village, but along the way he meets all these different characters that are of course fun, and I love the original Jungle Book of course. But this movie just transforms that whole story, and it makes it compelling, and it makes it so interesting, and I love that. The CGI, the way Jon Favreau directed this film, was amazing. The characters were all likable. Every character gets a great moment in the spotlight. It's funny. Of course, you have the songs that you love. It, of course, it's overall a very good movie. The CGI is great. Shere Khan is so intense. Idris Elba plays so good as Shere Khan, and he has a better motivation of why he wants to kill Mowgli than just wanting to kill him because he's just a man. And so I love this movie so much, but there's an issue with it. In that, when you go into it, that first sequence where they have that chase with the wolves, Mowgli, and Bagheera, they just expect you that you know the characters, and they just expect you that you know this world. And I think that's a little bit difficult when you're telling a remake, but still a new type of story. But that doesn't change the fact that this film is still amazing, so you're still gonna go in A tier. I still love the Jungle Book, but the way it does it with the world is just kind of weird. And I want them to reintroduce us to the world. And next up we have Alice Through the Looking Glass. And this is one that is not good. This is definitely one of my least favorite films of this. Probably the only thing that I actually kind of liked about the film was the special effects. That scene where time rewinds and everything just starts going back in time. I love that scene. And everything else just seems pretty bad, but still kind of enjoyable and still kind of emotional. So I'm gonna put it in F tier though, just because it's the least of it. It pretty much just answers questions that we don't really need answered, but I kind of wanted to know why they were so up against each other. Evil Queen and White Queen, and they focus on Mad Hatter and then they go into other timelines, and I just don't like that. I don't like how they make it a time travel movie. And then we have Pete's Dragon, which, honestly, if you know my thoughts on the original Pete's Dragon, I'm not the biggest fan of that film. I just think it's so weird in the way the music bits aren't really that good. When characters are singing, it just doesn't make any sense at all. The way it does the animation stuff, the original film was just bad for me. It's probably one of my least favorite non-Disney animated films. But this movie, Pete's Dragon 2016, fixes all of that and it makes it much better. And the reason for that was because they gave Pete a story of how he was on his own and how he met Elliot. And for me, I liked that part of this story, and I liked that they reinvented this whole world of Pete's Dragon. Like they added a likable cast with Robert Redford also known as Alexander Pierce from Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Then you get the girl from Jurassic World. And it just makes it for a very likable film that dives into characters, has an interesting world, and does it pretty well, and makes it feel almost like just a normal human film, in which I kind of like that. So I'm actually going to put this in the B tier, but it's still not my favorite of the Disney remakes, but I still do enjoy it. Next up we have Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast, as the remake, I think it's good, but I just don't think it's great. It pretty much is just a shot-for-shot remake of the original film, while just adding a couple scenes and plot lines into it. Whether talking about some scenes where we see them familiar, they're just different, and then the storyline with Belle's mom actually dying from the plague, I guess that's kind of dark, and they don't really make it emotional or anything. They just say it, and they just have Belle sing a song about it, and I don't know. I honestly think it's better than some remakes. I think the music is great. I think some with the singing and music performances, the dance numbers were pretty good. So I thought some of it was actually pretty good. But honestly, I like it better than 101 Dalmatians just because I think it's a much better, well-told story. And then we have Christopher Robin. Now, this is a difficult film to talk about here. This is one that I think is very controversial. Because on one hand, the Winnie the Pooh characters, seeing them again in live action, well, seeing them for the first time in live action, is just great. They really do look like stuffed animals coming to life. Kind of almost like Toy Story a little bit. Kind of like Yellow Lotso just came to life. Yellow live action Lotso just came to life. But the emotions are great. It really mixes in all of this stuff really well. The problem here, I just feel like the story just never really mixed well for me. And I mean, Ewan McGregor played great as Christopher Robin. I love that. But I'm gonna put this in the B tier still, just because I think the themes in here are amazing. But the story structure of all of it just felt kind of weird. But I still really enjoyed the film. Next up, we have Dumbo. And this is one that I do like. Well, not like, but I don't think it's bad, and I don't think it's good either. It's right there in between. Some of the special effects, honestly, I don't really like anything about this film. So honestly, I gotta put this in the D tier. The emotions never really worked for me. None of the characters really worked for me. Dumbo was cute. Danny DeVito, Michael Keaton, it was a good cast, but it's kind of forgettable. And now we come to Aladdin, which was probably the most surprising Disney remake for me. Because everybody was just going in expecting to hate it, because Aladdin was one of those Disney films that was one of their more perfect films. I think it's top tier Disney, like the original Aladdin. And this film, I think it takes the story, it makes it fun, and it has compelling characters. Will Smith as the genie perfect casting. I love that. And much like the Jungle Book, I don't really think, like, because I don't really think you need to watch the original Aladdin to watch this film. But mostly, it's kind of that, but then it's kind of not. Like, everything about this film is great besides the Jafar, Will Smith's look, and I honestly wanted him to turn into a snake at the end. The songs in here, I think, are portrayed very well. I think all of them are great. Yeah. So I love this movie, and it's gonna go in the A tier. Next up, we have The Lion King, and this is just like Beauty and the Beast. It's a shot-for-shot remake. There's nothing new about it. It's just a shot-for-shot remake. Now, the CGI is beautiful, like the Jungle Book. There's a lot of great, funny sequences with Timon and Pumbaa. I think that they're the standout to the movie. As well as Zazu, he gets some funny moments too. Some of the songs in here, I think some of the environments around when the songs are happening, it's very cool, especially with Yes Can't Wait to Be King, where you get to see baby rhinos, baby elephants, baby cheetahs. It's all cool. Easily the worst song of the movie is Can You Feel the Love Tonight, where that song is basically supposed to be some very emotional song about Simba and Nala falling in love, and they just ruin it, and I don't really feel the emotion. I mean, it's cute seeing Simba and Nala run through butterflies in a field, but that's not really something I'd like to see. I'd like to see them walking together under waterfalls, drinking water, splashing each other, running into fields with birds, and I wish it was different, but whatever. Scar was of course menacing, but overall, it was just good. I enjoyed it, I liked it, but overall it's just a good film. I put it in C because I don't think it was trying to do anything fantastic. It was just telling a reimagining story of The Lion King. And next up we have Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, and I love this movie. Whoa. I don't love this movie. And for that reason, I'm gonna have to put it in the D tier, mainly because they just focus on too many plot lines. They focus on Aurora getting married. Then it leads into the backstory of that there's more of Maleficent's kind out there. And they just kind of ruin it for all that. But the action sequences and special effects are still pretty cool, so the battles and stuff are still pretty cool. Next up we have Lady and the Tramp, which I'm actually going to put in the C tier. I'm going to put it in the C tier. And I like this movie. I don't love the original Lady and the Tramp. I liked it, but I don't love it. I think this film is just good. It tells the same story. It's pretty much reimagining just a couple new scenes. The way the dogs talk look weird. Some of the CGI of the dogs, not them talking, but the way they looked nice. And so overall, I liked it. And next up we have Mulan, and this is just one of my personal favorite Disney remakes. I adore this film. It's just such a pleasant surprise. The action is great. I like the story. I thought that this film made the theme of Mulan leaving her family just more impactful in some sort of way. And I like that. That's just in live action. The action is great. The cast is great. And overall, it's just a very good film. And now we come to Cruella. And this is a film that I was not really looking forward to at all. It was a film that I just wasn't really excited for because Emma Stone as Cruella never really made sense to me. I don't understand why they were until I heard it was an origin story, and I was like, okay, I don't really know if that excites me anymore, but whatever. And then I saw the trailer. None of the trailers really excited me. I guess her talking like Cruella was cool. But then I watched the movie, and the movie is just brilliant. The costume designs are fantastic. The way that it kind of sets up this whole story with the way that these characters met, it's so cool. The way Cruella's character goes in this story is just great. The way it connects with all the 101 Dalmatians stuff in it is great. The pacing is off, and the way the story goes in it with the mom and stuff. just never really made sense. The end credit scene with Pongo and Perdita was great. So for that reason, I actually have to put this in the group here, next to Mulan and Cinderella. So that's my Disney tier list, Disney Remakes tier list. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. My Instagram is Marvel6 and my TikTok name is Marvel1Fan. If you guys don't understand those names, head to my back section so you can follow me on all social medias. I'm also on Letterboxd. It's Disney on Instagram, Marvel_6_, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.